Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to BrickhouseBodymindTV episode 4. Today we're going to talk about spinal rocks. I happen to think these are one of the best flat tummy exercises ever devised, and plus they give your spine and your internal organs a killer massage. Here's what they look like. They start out in plow, roll forward along the back, and they end up on your feet standing. I started working with these exercises a while back when I was doing some gymnastics preparation for handstand work. And basically the idea was to be able to safely roll out of handstand when my handstand went past vertical. When I was reintroduced to these movements as spinal rocks in Scott Sonnen's Into-Flow and FlowFit programs, I found out that I wasn't quite as good at these as I thought I was. So I began trying to get better, and I went through some preparatory exercises that made me improve, and so I'm basically going to go through those with you here today. Alright, first things first, we're going to have a little biomechanics lesson. This is a first class lever. The fulcrum is in the middle, in between the resistance and the effort. It's like a seesaw, right? Now, the second class lever has the fulcrum on one end, the effort on the other end, and the resistance in the middle. This type of lever gives you the biggest bang for your buck, the most mechanical advantage. Now basically with the third class lever, we're going to swap the effort and the resistance so that the effort is now in between the resistance on one end and the fulcrum on the other end. Alright, so what on earth does all that stuff have to do with spinal rocks? Well, the crux of the spinal rock rests in what I call the transitional lever or the transition point. And the transitional lever looks like this. The transitional lever teeters between a second class lever and a third class lever. Now the second class position looks like this, where you have the fulcrum at your ankles, you have the resistance, your body weight, almost in between your legs, and the effort in your core muscles and your lower back muscles behind the resistance. Now as your body weight moves back at the point of transition, it becomes more like a third class lever with the effort and the resistance swapped, so that you have, again, fulcrum at your ankles. This time you have effort in your core and back and the body weight behind. Now as we just learned, the second class lever gives you more bang for your buck, so your success in the spinal rock rests in your ability to turn the transitional lever from a third class lever more into a second class lever. Okay, so how do we go about making a second class lever out of a third class lever at the point of transition? Well, there's two limiting factors. One is hip mobility and two is core strength. So the first exercise is a basic squat stretch. You're going to start with your feet wider than shoulder width apart and facing about 10 and 2 on the clock. And then you're just going to squat down as far as is comfortable, really sit in this stretch. The idea is to improve the mobility here. You rotate the pelvis forward and just lean into that stretch. You can use your arms on your thighs to brace if you want, and just stay here as long as it's comfortable for you. Come back up. The second exercise is what I call the transitional lever sit. You're basically going to sit at the point of transition and pull your shoulders back away from your ears and extend the spine, flatten out the back. Now I suggest using the bandas here. You can find detailed information about that in the first Brickhouse Body Mind Blueprint by clicking on the Blueprints link in the sidebar under Mechanisms of Transformation. They're really good for helping you expand that rib cage and get the most out of your core musculature. Now the idea is to be able to sit here comfortably with your flat back for 30 seconds to a minute. Okay, so the third preparatory exercise is a vinyasa I first learned about from Godfrey Devereaux's book, Elements of Yoga. It's he calls it Pasamalola, or the long wave, and basically the idea is to get you to place the effort, instead of at the extremities in a sit-up, place it in the core where it belongs. See, we're so used to balling our way through crunches and sit-ups by using the leverage from our hands being behind our head and our shoulders and just plowing through it, instead of isolating the effort in the core. Now basically we're going to do this by concentrating on the muscles of respiration. So when we inhale, there's a natural expansion of the body. When we exhale, there's a natural compression of the body. And we're going to use that to make our breath move our body for us. So this is what it looks like. So the inhale creates a natural expansion as the legs come forward. The exhale, a natural compression. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale expands the body. Exhale compresses. Now the idea is to be able to do about 10 reps of those very slowly, taking about 30 seconds per repetition. So once you feel comfortable with the 3 preparatory exercises, the spinal rock really becomes about an efficient transfer of momentum through the point of transition. Now, how we can begin to work with this is basically by elevating your butt just a little bit as compared to your feet. It's another reason why it's probably good to start working with these with bare feet, because your shoes give your feet a little bit of extra height, which reduces your mechanical advantage. So what we can do is start working with a 2-inch gymnastics pad, or you can fold up a comforter, just enough to give you this kind of effect to where your feet are lower than your butt by a few inches. So then you just work with the rock and the basic point of transition, or the transitional lever. Just come up to your feet. As that gets easier, you can reduce the amount of advantage you give to your butt until your butt is on the floor at the same level as your feet. Okay, so you're also going to want to pay very close attention to your back as you move through the transition, because the roundedness of your back and the smoothness of your roll is going to translate into a more efficient transmission of your momentum through the point of transition. So as you roll, you're really going to want to smooth this motion out. So we want to get rid of all the herky-jerkiness that's going on as any slamming around or anything like that. We really want to get rid of that. Now you'll get to where you can really kick the momentum through but maintain a smooth flow. Okay, so finally we're going to talk about the arms, and in the beginning they're going to basically play 2 purposes. They're going to first help you to pull your body forward and create that second-class lever, and then they are going to extend forward to give you that little extra momentum to carry you through the movement. So it's going to look like this. First one is a pull. Pull. This also happens in conjunction with an exhale. Compression. And then the second part goes like this. Now, as you get better, you won't need that first part as much, so that you can gain more mechanical advantage by the momentum of your arms pushing out. Alright, so hopefully these tips will help you out as much as they helped me. Just in time for summer, the Spinal Rocks are the best flat tummy exercise I know of. So hopefully you can get better at them with these tips. Thanks again for watching BrickhouseBodymindTV. I'm Philip. Till next time, peace be with you.